Facebook and YouTube, on Atlantic Television Network on Instagram and TikTok, on Atlantic TV Network 1 on Twitter, on Atlantic TV Net. You can watch us live on our website at www.atlantic.net.work.tv. We will go on a quick break. When we return, we will discuss the stories in details. To stay with us.
The board, management and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2025 anniversary lecture of Atlantic Television Network and Wish 90 FM. Theme: Imperative of Private Media in Sustainable Development.
Keynote speaker, Professor Tony Ibedia, erudite scholar and broadcast guru. Chairman, Professor Umar Pat, President, Society Broadcasters, Nigeria, and Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Kashiri, Gombe State. Panelists, Chief Honorable Arthur C. Kalabo, Information and Communication Expert, Dr. Harker Dwight, Lecturer, Public Relations, Media and Communication, Dr. Bekwele Lawrence D.K., Lecturer, Marketing Communication and Public Relations, Opaka Dakuba, Chairman, South Nigerian Union of Journalists, Susan Serakara Ndikana, Chairperson, Nawach, River State. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, FSM, FIMC, FNIMN, MNIM, ARPA, MIPPA. Chairman, Morrison Group. Date, 10th of March 2025. Venue, Dimeji Banquet Hall, Gay Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, by Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time is 11 a.m.
Call Kehinde Paul Obofadi on 0802 301 5728. That is 0802 301 5728 or info@atlanticnetwork.tv or info@wishfm995ph.com. You can also call Laurentia Ogu on 0818 344 6746. That is 0818 344 6746 or lead content at atlanticnetwork.tv. This is signed by management.
Welcome back. Joining us here is our first guest for today. He is Dr. Chinyere Igwe Esquire. He is the chairman, Morrison Media Communication. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, right into the story for today. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we will continue with the rest of the story. To stay with us. Welcome back. Morrison Media Group holds her 2025 anniversary lecture with theme The Imperative of Private Broadcast Media in Sustainable Development on Monday, 10th March, today, 2025, at Demiji Bankole Banquet Hall, Jade Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, by Obirikwe Flyover, Arumosi, Port Harcourt, by 11 a.m. The keynote speech will be delivered by Professor Tony Iradia, an erudite scholar and broadcast mogul, and chairman of the event is Professor Umar Pet, President Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, and panelists including Chief Author Kalabo of Information and Communication Experts, Dr. Harcourt White DK. He's a lecturer of Public Relations Officer and Communication. We have Dr. Bekwele Lawrence DK. He's a lecturer, Marketing, Communication, and Public Relations. Obaka Dokubo, chairman of the South-South Zone, Nigerian Union of Journalists, and Suzanne Serekara Mwekana, she's a chairperson, River State. And our impeccable Dr. Chinyere Igwe, chairman of, he is a chairman, Morrison Group, is the chief host of the events, which promises to provide a new vista in the broadcast industry as practitioners from far and near in public and private sectors are built to attend with many activities. This is actually going to be one of the best, if you may ask me. But I'd love to ask you, Chairman of Morrison Communication, Dr. Chinyere Igwe Esquire. Morrison Media Group has been a significant voice in shaping narratives and delivering quality journalism. As you mark the 2025 anniversary, what does this milestone represent for you and the organization?
Well, thank you very much. The milestone represents for me a call for greater action, a call for greater journalism, a call for greater broadcasting to shape, to help and ensure sustainable development of an egalitarian society for the people.
Okay, thank you for that. On a clear context, we know that imperative means a necessity, yes, something that is relevant. You know, if we may also look at it, one of the highlights of the celebration is a 2025 anniversary lecture. Could you share the theme of this year's lecture and why it was chosen?
Yes, the theme, the imperative of private broadcast media and sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Let's take it from there. Sustainable development, we're talking about doing the right things, things that will not endanger society, but will be good for now and for future generations to also benefit at their own time.
Okay.
So if that's taking the concept of sustainability into consideration, now we'll talk about the imperative. The imperative of private broadcast media, that is sometimes some of us want to believe that IBB did some of the right things during his 8-year reign because he liberalized the broadcasting sector.
Okay.
As at then, we only had a government media, and we know what we have is press release from government. We do not have the kind of investigative journalism we have today. We do not have the kind of media that is looking for issues that affect the people that we have today.
True.
So there's a new change. Now, if you look at that change, the question is, how would that change affect future? And that is where monitoring group stands. We are filling the gap. We are the linking pin between the past and the future. Yes.
That's a remarkable one. Thank you so much in that, Dr. Chinyere. Media landscapes are evolving rapidly. How is Morrison Media adapting to emerging trends while staying true to its founding principles?
Technology. We are the first broadcast media or television station east of the Niger to be digitalized. As we speak, we can say that authoritatively as the only private television station in this part of the world. And as we are talking here, all over the world, we are being watched with those who believe in what we are doing, our admirers, and those who want to know what is truly happening in this part of the world. We know that the Niger Delta, for instance, the Southeast, for instance, have been accused of so much negative narratives. But Morrison Media Group is out to present to the world.
To fill in that gap.
But in that particular place we are talking about, the Southeast and the South, there are a lot of potentialities that will contribute to national discourse, that will contribute to the world environment. That is what we're doing.
Oh, thank you so much in that. As chairman, you've led the organization through dynamic changes. What message do you have for your team, partners, and the public as Morrison Media looks to the future, just like you stated?
We should believe in the principle of resilience. Resilience will take you through thick and thin. Trials, once you believe in resilience, adopt the resilient spirit, trials will turn to triumph. And that is what Morrison is doing. We came into a sector that is not known in this part of the world because private television station in this part of the world was not in. Everybody was believing that it's only from Lagos that you must watch television station. But with what we are doing, there are so many people who know that they can do something in the industry from this part of the world.
Thank you. Finally, I'd love to ask, has there been any kind of challenges, as a private organization? I would like to...
Yeah, the greatest challenge we have is infrastructure. Our infrastructures are not working. Power, internet. These are the infrastructures that we need in this sector, but they are not working. So we are begging government.
So in this instance, government has to come in.
They have to come in. It's government role to provide infrastructure.
Well, finally, this is going to be a little half question. What message do you have to send to viewers, like the ones that always want to see, anticipate for the betterment of Morrison Communication? What message you have to tell them for the future, like you said?
The best is yet to come out of Morrison Media Group. We have assured them we have
The board, management and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2025 anniversary lecture of Atlantic Television Network and Wish 99.5 FM. Theme: Imperative of Private Media in Sustainable Development.
Keynote speaker, Professor Tony Iradia, erudite scholar and broadcast guru. Chairman, Professor Umar Pert, President, Society of Broadcasters, Nigeria, and Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Kashiri, Gombe State. Panelists, Chief Honorable Arthur C. Kalabo, Information and Communication Expert, Dr. Haka Tuwait, Lecturer, Public Relations, Media and Communication, Dr. Bekwele Lawrence DK, Lecturer, Marketing Communication and Public Relations, Opaka Dakuba, Chairman, South Nigerian Union of Journalists, Susan Sarkara Nwikana, Chairperson, Nawach River State, Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, FSN, FIMC, FNIMN, MNIM, ARPA, MIPPA, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date, 10th of March 2025. Venue, Dimeji Banquet Hall, Gay Place Hotel, Kilometer 5 East West Road by Obinkwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time is 11 a.m.
Call Kehinde Paul Obofadi on 0802 301 5728. That is 0802 301 5728 or info@atlanticnetwork.tv or info@wishfm995p.com. You can also call Laurentia Ogu on 0818 344 6746. That is 0818 344 6746 or lead content at atlanticnetwork.tv. This is signed by management.
Welcome back. Well, joining us on another aspect of this today's show is our regular here at the studio, Manketane Adubabari. He's a social solicitor and advocate, as well as the notary public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, and is also a socio-political analyst. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so very kindly.
Thank you. Right into the story for today. Federal government has converted the Gombe State Government General Hospital, Kumo, into a federal medical center. This is according to a statement by the spokesman to President Bola Tinubu, Mr. Bayo Onanuga. And Onanuga said that the Kumo Federal Med Center would serve as a tertiary health hospital, contributes to the training of medical personnel, and boosts healthcare service in Gombe State and the Northeast generally. Governor Muhammad Yahaya formally requested the takeover of the facility. President Tinubu approved the request, given the poor maternal and neonatal mortality incidence in the northeastern region and other health indicators in Gombe State. The federal government also considered the state government's commitment to improving its health sector, which aligns with the renewed hope agenda, but which has unveiled comprehensive reforms in the health sector. President Tinubu commended the governor for prioritizing the welfare of the state citizens and stressed that the takeover will improve the state's healthcare delivery system, he said. The news agency of Nigeria reports that the Kumo Federal Medical Center is the second federal medical institution in the state, after the Federal Teaching Hospital in Gombe, the capital. The teaching hospital was formerly a medical center before it was upgraded, it stated. I would like to get your thoughts on this quickly, Barrister Manki. Do you think this move was actually a necessary thing to do according to the federal government, that and due to the reasons that they have given in order to improve the healthcare sector in Gombe State by taking over? Was that a move? Wouldn't it have been done in another way instead of a takeover?
Well, the truth about it is that the purpose of government, number one, is to protect lives and properties of its citizens. And then my worry, I am a student, or I belong to the school of thought of base superstructure analysis. And that is the fact that if you tell me you are interested in the future, but you're not interested in the thing that affect children, I would doubt your sincerity. In the same way, this Southeast, good idea, but I think the primary thing that ought to, which is part of what is generating this crisis, is insecurity. If government could handle that, then it's like giving equipment to farmers, and then you are not ready to tackle insecurity issue, which is the foundation. That equipment is a waste. They will sell it to look for a means to travel out of that environment because their lives are not safe. If government is taking over the hospital for the purpose of improving the health care, the first question that will occur to me is, what is the state government doing? This is part of the state that, to me, is being used as a conduit pipe to drain money from other areas that are producing the money. And they share money every month. What is the money being used for? The state government. What is the state government doing? It cannot build an institution that is of world-class status to take care of the health of its citizens. And that is very, very funny. And to me, government taking over, the state government should go ahead to build another facility that will replace this. That's it. That's the truth. That's my position on it. Squarely, the health of the people should be primary consideration, just like health and education. The government should prioritize health of the people. But the situation wherein the available, indices on the ground point to the fact that this may just be a wasted effort. What is the need? It's like building a mortuary instead of building a health facility. So as the people die, what is worrying you is the smell from the corpses. So you build a mortuary so that you can be keeping dead bodies. Instead of building or tackling insecurity that is resulting into this, as well as safe health facility that will take care of the health of the people. So I just want to believe most of the things this very present government is doing, I first of all step it down and ask myself, what is the intention? Because I will tell you honestly, if you ask me my personal opinion, I am not taking anything being done by this present government serious because of its body language and what it is doing. Even on Friday, we heard of the judgment that came out of the Supreme Court, and I asked myself, what's going on here? That judgment came from the north. It's from the north. So that is my own position. If the government is here to take over this thing, it should tackle the primary thing that is leading to this crisis.
Yes.
When it does that, I will take the government serious. And the state government should know that it is its responsibility to the citizens. It should go ahead and build another health facility. It should convert the money that it's receiving each month. It can handle this. That's my position.
Because my question will come back to the same similar statements that you made, that why is the state government not actually doing the necessary requirements in order to, improve the healthcare facilities, the healthcare situation in Gombe State? Why did it get to a point that the federal government had to take over in order to revitalize it, to make it, in a conducive state? What is the state government doing with the revenue that they generate?
It's a matter of priority. Now, issues like this, we first of all ask you, what is the direction of the state government? There are certain things that happen. There are actions I can take, and people will like, is this my serious? It's like somebody, for instance, whose mother is sick or whose relation is sick, and then somehow the person did not make it and dies. The first question people will ask when you are soliciting for money, what did you do? Do you understand? There are answers you will give, or they will do their own verification. And if they find that you did not take any step to secure the health of that fellow, let's say, for instance, I took her to church. Instead of hospital, I will tell you are not serious. Straight and square. So that is about priority. What is the priority of the government? You realize that most of the state government, even the federal government, is not interested in the priority of Nigerians. If the government is interested in the priority or the things that touch on the lives of Nigerians, the first thing this government would do is just like when I normally make suggestion about this current economic holocaust we are experiencing. The first thing the government would have done is to declare state of emergency in the energy sector and order that crude oil in Nigeria should be refined locally for the benefit of Nigerians. If the government is interested in the issue of the lives and security of Nigerians, it will not open gates for foreign terrorists to invade the country and killing its population like fowl. It will take steps to turn out these foreign terrorists that are invading of this country. But rather, government is rehabilitating foreign terrorists as Nigerian citizens, sending its own citizens into IDP camps. Something is wrong somewhere. Something is fundamentally wrong somewhere. So you ask yourself, what is the priority of the government? Once you investigate the priority, you will know the direction of the government. And it's so sad that that's the priority we have in our hands.
Thank you so much, Indes Barrister Manki. Moving forward, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SASUN, has lamented that its members are passing through excruciating pains as a result of the alleged humongous tax reductions on various goods and services. The SASUN leadership lamented that these taxes are affecting these merged salaries, especially the pay as you earn, which is the payee tax, the hike in value-added tax, and numerous unacceptable tariffs. It has also decried the alleged payment of incomplete salaries and withholding third-party deductions in the name of salary shortfalls through the new payment platform, Government Integrated Financial Management Information System, flagrant disobedience of financial regulations. These, among others, were contained in a communique issued at the end of its 50th of regular National Executive Council meeting at the Federal University, Otuoke, Bayelsa State, and signed by the SASUN President, Comrade Mohammed Ibrahim. SASU said that the obnoxious taxes have drastically rendered the 70,000 naira minimum wage increase useless and of no effect that they said. He called on the government of the day to work towards a worker-friendly tax regime to ameliorate the hardship faced by workers. We've had conversations oftentimes about the whole tariff hike, electricity hike. You know, recently there has been more or less, or not more or less power supply. I don't know about other states of the country. There was an issue where there was a total blackout in some parts of the country for a few days. You know, it's just been a back and forth situation. One, the ATM withdrawal fee that has been added, telecom operators increasing their tariff 50%. Still, fuel price is on 1,000 naira on a medium rate, if I may say that. On an average rate, it should be actually above it in some filling stations, some dispensing fuel stations. We have the issue of school fees, and it's just house rent. If you have to mention all of that, if I may ask, in as much as yes, there's been it's a necessity for every civil Nigerian, civil citizen to pay taxes. The 70,000 naira, we will look at it that it's not something that is tangible enough to hold on to. You've made a statement of when imagine a situation where you have to go to the markets with 100,000 and you're expecting to get something tangible from it. Oh no, you do not want to be disappointed of what you get from it. You know, the civil servants have been coming out to cry over that situation. That is not something we can work with. 77,000 naira for the NYSC corpus I get to be implemented. You know, it's just a situation that has just been going on and on and on and on. SASUN coming to cry over this. Do you think the government, the federal government, would want to come to the aid of this? Probably increase the minimum wage to a reasonable, and let me not use the word, a sustainable amount for Nigerians, most of the civil servants, to be able to know. I always get out of words. Be able to be able to cater for certain necessities in their homes. Please, I would love to get your thoughts on this quickly, Barrister Manki.
Well, straight ahead, I will tell you, if you use the word, the motto of my chambers is Nemo Dako no Habet. That is, to me, I usually say that is my most fascinating or beautiful Latin maxim that makes meaning to me, and it's very much applicable to my own environment. And by interpretation, it means a man cannot legitimately be expected to give that which he doesn't have. Very unfortunately, looking at my primary constituency, which is law, the legal system has been hijacked and captured. Unfortunately, and let me say it here. I will say what I'm saying, I accept full responsibility for it. The only way forward that is left for Nigerians is revolution. And may ask me why. Is it that bad? Yes, that's why. Anyone who is hoping to see anything like ray of hope out of this present government, the policies and everything, is operating from the fool's paradise. My practical experience, I don't know how in your own case. Do you know how much the telecom increment is doing to Nigerians? If you are using your data, I think from Friday they loaded twice, 3,000 naira. Or twice, depending on what you are using this thing to do. The whole thing, this is what when you enter into airspace in Europe is free. And it's achievable here. Airtime. Then you pay, or you pay minimally. Bola Tinubu cannot give what he does not have. What is his legacy? I don't want to look at his legality. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's a fraud validated by the Supreme Court justices. And they will pay for it. Just like they did in the case of Rivers State now that is captured. They will pay for it at the right time. And it's left for Nigerians to say no. What is 70,000 naira? For heaven's sake. Yesterday, somebody called me and was asking of a 1-bedroom. You know what they told me? Say 1.2 for 1 year. And I asked the fellow, what are the facilities in that apartment that you go for 1.2? He said water heater and allied facility. I said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I remember the first apartment I rented in this town, 72,000 naira, was 1 bedroom. When I stepped out of family, 72,000 naira. I said this to people. If you see an average civil servant who is not working corners, right, that is living within his means, you have seen a miracle, a working miracle. If you go to the market, the fish that I can clearly tell you we buy within the bracket of 1,000 naira, and people will look at you because it's reasonably sizable. Some people who don't have the wherewithal, they will turn their eyes and look at you when you tell them to cut it as it were. Go and price that size of fish now. One small fish, they will tell you 5,000 naira. That is outside other commodities in the market. 500 naira okra. 500 naira, what you call it? Pepper. Fresh pepper. Check the quantity of scent leaf for 200 naira. Last time I went to market, I bought 500 naira pumpkin. I just had it in my hand like this. When I was slicing it, I just had it in my hand. So we are in a messy situation. And this is what is going on. You see, as people gathered around Babangida, those were the beneficiaries of his fraud. If Abacha were alive, there are people, the fight you see in Rivers State is to create that kind of scenario. That's what Bola Tinubu created out of Lagos. Unfortunately for him, he thought that he was doing a particular set of people in this country. But the people are so resilient economically that once you impose this tax, they deflect. And that's what was happening in Lagos. And he is trying to impose that across board in Nigeria. So all that is interested is what will increase the tax base, the burden of Nigerians. Whatever will increase the tax base. I told you last time here, I gave you an analysis. I said the labor leaders who I insist compromised, they will pay for it. Because nobody steals power to benefit the people. People who steal power use it to benefit themselves. They don't use it to benefit the people. We saw all that happen. Now, Supreme Court has gone ahead to validate that a man can corner the commonwealth of the people into his own private pocket. You know,
what's the word? If I may cut you short there, Barrister Manki, there's no strong evidence over that there was a cornering, if I may use
that's my own fee. I did a publication over the weekend, and it was to me crazy. Lawyers, look, majority of lawyers are the most crazy cowards I've seen. It's my profession, so you can't say no. Don't talk to me, no doctors like that. I say crazy cowards that I've seen. Lawyers, at my age and by my training and exposure, if I listen to you, barely, let's say 10 minutes, if we engage in a discussion on any issue, I will know a direction on it. I don't need any rocket science. And so we are all in the mess. I'm telling you squarely. For me as a lawyer, my cardinal duty to the society is to speak to authority. Globally, when things are going wrong in the society, people look up to lawyers because of our training and our exposure. But here we find a situation wherein lawyer, I told you last time I came here, I told you that the fight to be senior advocate of Nigeria, the intention is not genuine. The senior lawyers, they know that in this country, there is no election in this country. People only gather, they created a platform to enrich certain persons under the guise of electoral process, to enrich certain persons. Then after that, to tell you that the election does not match intention, it will not. Do you understand? The only thing that will solve this problem where we are now is organized, organic revolution of the people. Nigerians saying enough is enough, because there is nobody that is fair.
You made a statement before, I think last week when we had the show, here at the studio, about the revolutionary situation. And I asked you, how do you think that will be possible? Because there has been instances where similar situations have occurred and we saw the turnout.
See, let me tell you. Let me say this to you. By Section 14 of the Constitution, power, the ultimate power, resides in the people. Do you understand? The ultimate power resides in... I hear people currently talking now that Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. It has spoken. You are using Supreme Court to enforce oppression, suppression, and depression. And you expect the people to keep quiet. When the people rise up and say enough to this nonsense, Supreme Court will reverse itself.
Thank you so much.
Do you understand it? So as it stands, unless Nigerians, like I said, nobody is escaping it. If you make call, right? If you buy fuel, what is transportation? Just move. The money you would have used for interstate movement in the past is what you are spending just within a short distance internally. Do you understand it?
Sure.
That is what is going on. So how much? If you see that a lot of people now have decided to disobey economic principles, they don't want to write how much they spend per day. Because if you put it down, you can have high blood pressure. I can tell you that. Depression is hanging around you with his headscarf fully on, looking up to your face. Depression is hanging around. If you check how much you spend per day, when you move out and you come in, you go to eatery, you want to eat something, perhaps you are tired, and the level of hunger that is in the land, the moment you are hungry, your body begins to shake. It tells you something is wrong somewhere. Nigerians are already eating from the garbage, from the dustbin. Check what people are eating. Check most of the products in the market. You know that this effectively are supposed to be waste in the past. But people are converting it as a means to survive. How much is rent? If you want to look at that, how much is rent? My own personal rent was increased from 300 to 500 straight. I know some people that their rent is increased from 500 to 800 straight, to 1 million straight. And the question is, if you cannot, just leave. The next thing, the landlords are now conniving with police, because it's a civil matter. It's not supposed to be. They will now bring up what they call act likely to cause the breach of the peace. Police will now come in and say that if you can't pay, move. Because if there's disagreement between both of you, it could lead to fight. And our cardinal duty is to nip any possible situation in the board. So you have to vacate, and they make you to sign an undertaking that you have to vacate. Do I have hope in the justice system? I tell you practically no, because the legal system has been captured, and it is only Nigerians that can reverse it. And until we come to the united point wherein we say Nigeria can march to the street and tell the government of the day enough is enough. I'm not saying you should carry gun. There is that organic force. In fact, most people are regretting now that when the presidential election that occurred, Nigeria would have massively come. We won't be in this mess imposed on us by the court. We will not. And that is the same language I speak to Rivers people. Rivers people are greater than any single individual. Whether you bargain to sell the soul of the state or whatever, we have to. Until Nigerians say enough is enough, we will continue. And we will see more. If you check your bank account, I was shocked this week. You know, I operate an app. Go to your app, open the backlog. That is the history. Open it, and they call it FIP. That's where they're deducting the money. If you transfer some amount of money, you just see the next thing that will drop. They say FIP, something fee or whatever. You see the amount they deducted from your account. And that is what the nation is crying about. Because they are educated, they can see how much that is being taken. When they go to any place to go and buy something, even they are even talking about the fact that they are withholding the money they are supposed to remit to their pension managers. So that is giving you a red light that at the end of your toil, in the name of service, you have nothing at all.
Thank
and that
you
is quite
so much
sad.
on that, Barrister Manki. Thank you on your analysis on that. I really appreciate it. Well, SASON is not the only organization coming out to cry out over the economic hardship of the country. Catholic Bishops Conference of Nigeria has warned that Nigerians' economic hardship, insecurity, and youth unemployment have reached alarming levels despite recent government reforms. The bishops expressed grave concern over rising poverty, food inflation, kidnappings, and the deplorable state of correctional facilities, calling for urgent and decisive action to address the crisis. The warning came during the 2025 first plenary meeting of the CBCN held at the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria in Abuja on Sunday. They urged the government to tackle the root causes of economic hardship and insecurity, emphasizing that millions of Nigerians are suffering under extreme conditions of poverty and fear. Archbishop Ugoji acknowledged some government economic and fiscal reforms such as road rehabilitation and student loan scheme and debt servicing reduction. Palliatives and temporary relief programs are not enough. We need sustainable solutions that address the root causes of economic hardship, they stated. The bishops also raised alarms over worsening insecurity, with violent attacks by Boko Haram, bandits, and unknown gunmen increasing nationwide. They noted that kidnappings for ransom have escalated, with religious leaders among the latest targets. Well, talking about the religious leaders situation, recently two members abducted, a particular member abducted two different, I think two members had the connive to abduct two different priests from a particular church. So it's not like because of a religious stand that they are exempted from the insecurity and whatever, like you mentioned, the economic hardship going on in the country. You know, for the question now is, bishops, these are strong religious leaders, because then the Catholic, it was one church, one of the first church that was recognized in Nigeria. I'm not talking about the whole world in Africa large. I'm talking about Nigeria. You know, so then we had this reverence towards them, and then they're not the types that want to, you know, come to the public and make certain statements like this. You know, this kind of call would also, you know, be considered as a critical situation, because it's more like the whole thing is affecting them. Probably the offerings that used to be rendered to the particular church is no longer coming as it used to. You know, certain things, personal reasons, if I may say. But I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Barrister Manki, please, or what you have to say concerning this.
Well, I have respect for the Catholic bishop's position. They are flying the altitude of my mind. My mind and theirs are flying on a common altitude. You listen to the language you use there. Step that will address the root cause. That is, if you are not addressing the base and you are busying yourself about superstructure, you are a deceiver. It's as simple as that. And you know, this government is pursuing the twin principle of fidelism. And the twin principle of fidelism are poverty and ignorance. These are the twin principles that this present government is pursuing. And I say this to you. You see, it does not matter. Let me give you an example. It's like a professor, for whatever reason, despite his training, exposure, and learning, decides to go and marry an illiterate girl in hope that he will be able to control her. Yes. Oh my God. The day she will manifest, the professor will feel like asking the ground to open to take him. Do you understand it? That is exactly what is playing out in the Nigerian situation. And that is what this government think is playing around. See, no matter how educated you are, if you are a victim of poverty, I mean physical poverty,
True.
your brain will migrate from thinking significance to survivor.
Yes.
And the moment you are on the lane of survivor, a lot of things that have value will crash. Do you understand?
True.
Anything will go. You see young ladies you have respect for going into lifestyles, questionable lifestyle. You see people ordinarily that will not steal. People that will ordinarily, they cannot see a...
As religious leaders, I know other religious leaders have actually come to make statements on this. I want us to look up on that angle.
See,
you know, the fact that they're the ones that actually...
Let me tell you this. This analysis I was giving, nobody can escape it. Do you understand it? It's universal. Nobody can escape it.
Okay.
This Catholic bishop you are hearing about are seeing the poverty reflecting in their structure, in everything about them. They can see it in their members because they deal with their members.
Okay.
They know what they are passing through. In fact, I can tell you it will even reflect in the offering in the church. Do you understand it? This is the reality that we are all in.